Good afternoon, my Rogue Army. My name is Erin Rogoff, and I would like to welcome you all back to my BookTube channel. So, you all know how I love zombie apocalypse books, right? Well, I've been playing a zombie apocalypse video game called Lasting on Earth, and I cannot survive the first 24 hours. I am not a skilled gamer. I cannot make that claim. Anyway, I wanted to talk about my top recommendations for your next apocalyptic-themed read. Anyway, let's start out with Brooke by Tim Levin. It's a zombie apocalypse fiction read, and it's about this scientific facility deep in the Appalachian Mountains called Brooke. And it's found a way into another world through a gateway, but they find zombies on the other side. So the zombies are unleashed upon our world, and the only cure is a genetic immunity. So can one person save the entire human race? That remains to be seen. Why do I like this book? Okay, it's a zombie apocalypse novel, and I'm all about those. And I go camping on the Appalachian Trail all the time, so it's pretty cool reading about a fictional place in a non-fictional place that I go to all the time. And if there was a way into The Walking Dead, I would go into it. So the books are gateways to other worlds, as I have heard it said in the literary sense. So it's jumping into another world that I absolutely love, if that makes any sense at all. So, the next book I have is also by Tim Levin, and that is The Silence. It is a monster apocalypse read, and it's about these blind creatures that rise from the depths of the earth to attack humans. So this girl named Allie, who's been deaf for years, she survives in silence, and now it's her only chance for survival with her family. Leaving home, that can they live in the silence too, and can they even survive? Is there a book-to-movie adaptation? Yes, it's on Netflix, and it is so good. And the actors who are playing the leads, Kiernan Shipka, forgive me if I pronounce her name wrong, plays Allie, and Stanley Tucci plays Allie's dad. And if you don't know his name, he played Caesar in the Hunger Games series, and I loved him as a character. He played a great part, and he plays a great part in The Silence. And then why do I like this book? On the optimistic side, it makes me grateful I know the basics of sign language. Or, well, that's just one word. I just said hello to you. And then on the pessimistic side, it makes me think about, with the amount I talk, I would be killed in the fraction of a nanosecond. I've come to terms with that already. And then another reason why I love this book, I'm just happy that the book-to-movie adaptation really lived up to its name, and I would totally recommend you watch the movie after you finish reading the book, because the book is generally better than the movies, so I would totally recommend you do that. And then, the third book I have is The Dead and the Gone by Susan Beth Pfeffer. This is a science fiction apocalypse novel, and our story shifts from Miranda's POV to a boy named Alex Morales, who lives in New York City. His parents go missing, and his two sisters depend on him, and they have a brother who's elsewhere in the United States, but we do not know where he really is. So when the moon is knocked closer to the earth and things go crazy, like there are tidal waves and hurricanes, tornadoes, and everything else that you can think of, they just attack the earth. So there's not really a bad guy in person, it's just a challenge of dealing like human against nature, if that makes sense. And so Alex must protect those he loves most, so can he keep them safe? Is there a book-to-movie adaptation for this? No. Would I like there to be? Absolutely. Would I watch it in the front row seat? Absolutely. And why do I like this book? It is a novel about the end of the world, and I absolutely love books about the end of the world. Do not ask me why, because I don't know either. I just do. And then it's also on the list of books that people stopped reading due to fear, and the thing is, I read the first book when I was 12 years old, so that was 11 years ago. And I loved it then, I love it now, and I have a whole shift of thought that I didn't have before. I mean, when I was 12, I read the book, and I related so heavily to Miranda, and then when I read the book last year, I thought, oh my gosh, I relate to the mom. So that was a really cool, like, shift that I couldn't explain years ago, but now I can. And then this book also makes me think about how I would survive in the apocalypse like this. And my brother, he has an idea about the end of the world, and he's actually under the impression that if Earth's supply of coffee ran out, that I would die because I have an addiction to coffee and to reading, as you can see. Anyway, fourth and final book I have in this is Plagueland by Alex Scarrow. It is a virus apocalypse novel, and no, I am not talking about COVID-19. Anyway, it's about this boy named Leon and his little sister Grace and their mom who moved to England from New York City after their dad cheated on their mom. And then they hear about this virus in Africa and think, hey, nobody's gonna come to, like, bring the disease to England from Africa. And then within a week it reaches the United Kingdom. So can Leon and his family survive and escape bigger dangers? Is there a book-to-movie adaptation? Not yet, but I have high hopes for it. Why do I like this book? It was one of the books that held my attention from page 1 to the very end, and that's saying a lot because I have extreme ADHD. And then it also made me think about what I would do in a situation like this. And it also makes me grateful that the coronavirus isn't evolving into something like this, because then I would have to be even more isolated, and my only connection to the outside world at this point is my family and my friends online. So anyway, that is all for today. So if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button to show some support, subscribe to my BookTube channel to get more videos like this, turn those notifications on to be notified when I have a new video up, and have a great day, everyone!